Hello everyone. I hope everyone are doing well. Today we are going to start a basic fundamental subject in chemical engineering named transport phenomena. Now this transport phenomena subject in particular has got its application in a variety of scenarios that we generally come across in chemical engineering. This subject also finds its application in other engineering subjects like mechanical and biotechnology. Basically, wherever there is a transport or transfer of heat, mass, or momentum, this subject has to come into the picture. Uh, Let me tell you about myself. I am Dr. Saurabh Zogaikar. I am an assistant professor at Lakshminarayan Institute of Technology, and I would be conducting your transport phenomena course. To start with a few guidelines, make sure you are carrying something to write upon to take notes. The PowerPoint presentation has also a recorded voice, so please use headsets for clear voice quality. Make sure you have the latest update of Microsoft Office. Older version can also serve the purpose. Feel free to contact me in case of any specific queries. And taking into account the present ongoing pandemic, the general home, home care for people with suspected or confirmed COVID-19. The basic guidelines are to wash your hands, to avoid unnecessary exposure to the ill person. While coughing, cover your mouth and nose with flexed elbow, and to keep on checking for symptoms. I hope everyone are following the same guidelines to have a better health. Now the contents of the presentation. The contents of presentation include course objective, transport phenomena, what it is all about, prerequisites for a better understanding, that are what are the basic fundamental things that you need to acquire first before understanding this particular subject. Why transfer happens? This basically deals about why there is a transfer of mass, material, or momentum. Now, basic methodology applicable throughout. There is a general framework by which we actually tend to follow so that there is uniformity in what we are doing, there is uniformity in the thinking process. Discussions of application of transport phenomena. We'll just discuss a case study wherein we see transport phenomena at different stages, and also at the end of it we have got a tutorial. The course objective: why to study transport phenomena? It is very necessary to understand the underlying principles governing heat, mass, and momentum transfer, and to be able to formulate a particular system in terms of heat, mass, and momentum transfer. Now, you have studied heat transfer, mass transfer, fluid mechanics as three different topics. Though these three different topics can, in the first view, it can be three different individual topics. However, all the three topics have the same underlying principle, that is, because of something there is a cause, because of something there is a reason, because of which heat is transferred or mass is transferred or momentum is transferred. So if we look into these three topics from a holistic viewpoint, you will understand that though the topics are different, yet they all operate on the same underlying principles. So this course is all about understanding how the equations that you used during your heat transfer, mass transfer, fluid mechanics course, how they are actually derived. And it will be very easy for you to understand that from a very basic principle, how are we able to derive a particular complex equation. which becomes very useful in taking the course ahead. About transport phenomena, it is one of the basic fundamental engineering science in chemical engineering, right? Discussions are pertaining to different chemical engineering scenarios involving heat, mass, and momentum transfer. So this course, it will be broadly will be discussing about various scenarios for heat, mass, and momentum transfer. Formulation of different scenarios to understand the changes in temperature, concentration, and pressure difference. So what we are going to do in this course is we are going to formulate different scenarios, and we are going to understand how the temperature changes along the medium, how concentration changes along the medium, and how pressure difference changes along the pressure changes along the medium. It involves basic heat, mass, and momentum balance. A basic law of conservation is what is expected and what is expected to be applied to all the fundamental systems to get a more logical equation. Though it is regarded as an extended mathematics course, however, if you understand the physical significance of what actually is happening in that system, it will be easier for you to have certain assumptions as well as to solve uh, certain scenarios. So, a physical relevance is very important when you are actually studying this course. So, try to understand for every scenarios that we are going to take in this course, try to understand how this scenario you are going to, and you are supposed to relate this particular theoretical scenario to an actual case study. Prerequisites for better understanding. So a basic knowledge of heat transfer, mass transfer, fluid mechanics are necessary. You should know how heat transfer happens. You should know how mass transfer happens. You should know how fluid is transported from one point to other. And some fundamental mathematics is required, like vector analysis, Laplace transform. Now, these fundamental mathematics are necessary to solve the differential equations that we are going to come across in the various scenarios. Now let us understand why transfer takes place, be it momentum or fluid, be it heat or be it mass. So we need to first understand why transfer takes place. So I hope you all are done with your HTMT and fluid mechanics course. So you'll be able to understand that if there is a pressure drop, there is going to be a momentum transfer. If there is a temperature difference or a temperature gradient that is available, the heat is going to travel from a high temperature zone to a low temperature zone. For mass transfer, if there is a concentration difference and a concentration gradient, then mass is going to transfer from high concentration to lower concentration. You must have come across various examples for fluid flow, heat transfer, and mass transfer. As already discussed, for all the transfers, the underlying principle looks to be the same, and hence an understanding of transport phenomena is necessary for a better grasp of all three types of transfer. At the end of the course, it is expected that you should understand that though these three topics are different, yet there can be a unified approach wherein you can use the same kind of approach to solve the different scenarios, be it for momentum flow or heat transfer or mass transfer. Now, the basic methodology applicable throughout. Now, we'll just have an overview the of one of the scenarios. Now, let us consider there is a liquid that is flowing through a pipe. So, obviously, you know that the velocity would be maximum at the center of the pipe, and velocity at the edges or velocity at the surface, at the inner surface of the pipe, would be equal to 0, right? So now there is a gradient, so there is going to be a momentum transfer that is going to happen. Similarly for heat transfer as well, there is some surface which is at a higher temperature, and then there is some other surface which is at a lower temperature, and these both surfaces are coupled together with some medium. And once that is done, the rate of heat transfer, or the heat or energy that is transferred from higher temperature surface to a lower temperature surface, it will be dependent on the area as well as the conductivity of that particular medium. So, and similarly for mass transfer as well, so there is some gas which is going to be diffusing in some liquid, right? So what is the diffusion coefficient? That it will be deciding how much amount of gas would diffuse into the liquid. So having an holistic view, you will understand that there is a similar kind of methodology that is followed to define, formulate, and come up to a logical conclusion. So let us understand what are the basic methodologies applicable throughout this course. You will find most of the scenarios are being solved using these 6 steps. Now, what are those steps? First, understanding the geometry of the media through which transfer is happening. Right? So, geometry plays a very significant role for transfer to happen. Understanding the nature of medium, type of flow, three-dimensional flow, we have to take that into account as well. Expressing the basic heat mass momentum balance for the system. So if it is a heat transfer specific scenario, we'll have to apply the basic heat balance over the system. Now what is heat balance? We'll just consider about heat balance. What is heat balance? The amount of heat that is coming into the control volume minus amount of heat going out of the system plus heat generated would be equal to 0, right? So for a particular control volume, the entire heat, as far as if we consider it from the viewpoint of heat, whatever the heat that is coming in should go out. If there is no generation, there is no storage of heat, right? So expressing the basic heat mass and momentum balance is very necessary, because this becomes the basic equation based on which uh, the entire evaluation depends on. Any slight miscalculations here, or if you don't take into account certain steps in this momentum balance or heat balance or mass balance, would end up in resulting wrong conclusions. Now, evaluation of boundary conditions. Now, boundary conditions are very necessary. Now, what are boundary conditions? We'll have it in the subsequent slides, right? For now, boundary conditions are the basic general endpoint conditions by which we can actually solve a particular differential equation and find out a more logical equation that can be used. Neglecting the unnecessary expression that seems irrelevant to simplify the problem. Now, majority of the cases there are going to be multidimensional flow. There are going to be certain scenarios where, due to the other variables, we tend to complicate the particular equation, so that and no logical conclusion can be sought. In this case, what we have to do is we have to neglect particular irrelevant equations or particular irrelevant scenarios wherein which can be used to simplify the problem. A word of caution over here is you have to have a very deep understanding about which terms to neglect, which areas to neglect. Generation of basic equation correlating their pressure drop, energy or concentration with other physical known parameters like dimensions, time, etc. So once you have simplified the problem, you are going to land up with a equation wherein you are either going to express pressure, heat or concentration as a function of time or time or distance, right? So the molecular diffusion, molecular heat transfer that is happening due to the vibrations in conduction, all these are, you cannot measure the amount of heat that is transferring, but you can measure the temperature at different points. You can measure the distance at different points. So we have to find out from the parameters that we can measure how we can calculate a particular thing that is unknown that we cannot measure. So the whole course revolves around generation of a certain property which is unknown using the parameters which we can measure physically. Now application of transport phenomena. So where do we see transport phenomena in chemical engineering? So basically wherever we are going to see heat transfer, mass transfer and fluid transfer, the transport phenomena principles are going to be applicable there. So consider a two-phase reaction happening in a reactor. Some reactant A is being bubbled in liquid B. The reaction happens at elevated temperature of 250 degrees Celsius. A thermic fluid heater is used as an energy source for the reactor. Continuously reactant B is pumped into the reactor and products are removed so that the liquid level in the reactor is maintained. So where are the different areas of transfer happening? As far as heat transfer is concerned, in the pipes of thermic fluid boiler, where heat is transferred from fuel that is being burned, that is the flue gases, heat is transferred from those to the metallic surface of the pipe, and from pipe it is transferred to the thermic fluid. In the outer jacket of the reactor, outer jacket means what? The thermic fluid is now is the thermic fluid is pumped into the jacket of the reactor to maintain the temperature. So heat from thermic fluid is transferred to the metallic jacket or the outer of the reactor, and from metal of the outer reactor it goes to the relatively cool reactant, and heat entering and leaving the reactor. So there would be some heat that would be associated with liquid B that is entering into the reactor, as well as heat that is going out with the product that is being continuously removed. Transfer of momentum. So where do you see transfer of momentum? Now liquid is being pumped into the reactor through some pipe. There will be some pump which will be having its source from a storage tank, and then it will be pumped into the reactor. Similarly, removal of fluid from the reactor, again there will be some pump, or by gravity there will be a pipe through which the liquid is going to flow. Now why this is necessary? Whatever the liquid that is being pumped, the shape of the pipe, the material of construction of the pipe is very essential to be determined, so that it should not be like because of an error in calculations we are we are left with no choice than to use a high capacity pump, which will in turn increase the opex of the process, right? So this is very essential, that what kind of fluid is passing through the pipe, what is the material of construction of that pipe, what is the velocity distribution inside that pipe, right? Transfer of mass. Now diffusion of gas A in liquid B, that is A is being bubbled into the reactor and A diffuses into the liquid, right? And because of that, change in concentration of liquid B in the reactor, right? So if reaction is happening, some A plus B gives C, so the concentration of B is going to decrease, and if concentration of B is decreasing, we are compensating off by adding more liquid to it, more pure liquid B into the reactor. So in terms of mass transfer, a very high diffusion coefficient would be desired so that water A that is being bubbled gets directly diffused into B, and with the help of higher temperature provided from thermic fluid, reaction may take place. Now these are a more basic heat transfer, mass transfer and momentum transfer. So there are others as well which are happening at the back of this particular scenario. So the such things can be identified in a chemical process. Now this is a tutorial for you that you have to find out different chemical processes and identify those processes and tabulate different scenarios you would come across that involves heat, mass and momentum transfer. Thank you. You can contact me anytime. These are my credentials. You can contact me on phone as well as my email ID. I have already given it in the presentation. We'll be broadly discussing about what are the different kinds of basic equations that are used in transport phenomena. What are the basic equations of heat transfer, mass transfer, and momentum transfer, and we'll take this course in the subsequent classes. And I hope if you have any query regarding transport phenomena, feel free to mail me or contact me. Thank you so much.